For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. We are outdoors at Belmont. It's still a little chilly, but it's warming up. It's a far, far nicer day. It's nice to be outside, and it's nice to be back at Belmont Park.
Yeah, it's nice to be outside. I always feel weird when we're indoors at Belmont. It's only happened a couple of times. We ended the meet last year and started the meet this year. I like to be outside here.
No, I agree, but you do need to have an indoor space because it can get kind of chilly.
Yes.
We're happy to report that I know Junior Alvaro is not riding today, but apparently he is okay, and so hopefully he'll be back shortly. And obviously after the spill yesterday, Pablo Fragoso, Junior Alvarado, Manny Franco, I believe all are doing okay. So
certainly looks, and all three horses were okay. So
they all ran by. I
yeah.
saw them all run by after the race. So that was good news as well. You need to head over to Naira Bets, get things going. Become a member of Naira Bets. If you're not a member, good time to sign up. We will match the $200 your initial deposit, plus give you a free $25 Kentucky Derby bet next weekend. Use the promo code DERBY25. Also, Saturday contests, cash prizes. Keep the money you make, $300, live money contest. Why doesn't it say $300 on that?
I don't know. We have about 5 hours left, by the way, to sign up for that.
Yeah, we need a slate that tells people it's $300 to buy in. Seems like a relatively important piece of information, right?
A little bit.
To me, it is. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just it's potluck. Maybe it's like spin the wheel.
I like potluck.
I'm sure you do.
I usually bring risotto.
I'm sure you do. America's Day at the Race Day, 1 to 5:30, covering Aqueduct as well as Oaklawn. I'm guessing the first 7 from Oaklawn, probably. Sounds
6,
right?
I think. Maybe 7.
No, 7. Because yesterday was 6, we went to 5.
Oh, you're right. 5 o'clock. Correct. You're right.
5:15.
What else is new? You're right.
Crew is all here. Race number 1, first 2-year-old race. They ran a 2-year-old race in the turf yesterday at Keeneland.
Yeah, might have been the.
Yes, Wesley Ward one.
Have another one today. I don't remember. Yeah. It was early in the card. I only covered the late races on radio.
First race?
Yeah. They have another one today.
This one's on the dirt, and Wesley Ward is represented in here, and we will show the entire replay of his current 1 to 5. Let me guess. Irad Ortiz is riding him. Irad 1 to 5 Ortiz. That's his new nickname.
Better than Julio Garcia. Better than Julio Garcia.
This horse gets left. Let's focus on the race for a minute. Horse gets left. He ends up back in the pack. He was green in here. He lost to a 9 to 5 firster for Ennis, the trainer.
John Ennis.
John Ennis. Was first time started, had a lot of speed. He's the horse in front. And I thought this horse ran fairly well after braking slowly. Did have a good trip after that. Was 4 to 5. Comes here. I guess this horse will probably win. I didn't want to pick him on top. I took the other Wesley Ward horse, even though this is the one who's probably going to win.
3 fillies, 2 colts. The 2, 3, and
Anything
5
else
are fillies.
Fillies. Yeah, you're right.
That's it. I mean,
both the Wesleys are fillies.
What else are you supposed? Not really much else to say about.
Let me just say,
3/5 of the field have run. You got 2 firsters in here that I think are a little more interesting than the other 2 horses that have run. But I mean, if this filly with the experience shows up, she's probably going to win.
I guess, but she is a Wesley Ward horse that lost first time out at 4 to 5. She may win, but I'm not. I've gotten to the point in my handicapping right now in New York where I'm focusing on picking against Irad Ortiz. Nothing against Irad. He's obviously a sensational rider. But the reality is that Chad Brown Irad Ortiz horse that went off at 1 to 5 in the second race.
That was something yesterday.
60. That horse in the feature that was 5 to 1 ultimately should have been 20 to 1. They're betting horses that Irad Ortiz is riding so dramatically overbetting them that you're forced, unless you just have no interest in the race, or for me, I can't speak for others, but for me, unless I just don't like anybody else and I can't take anyone else, I'll take Irad. But if I like a horse and it's supposed to be like 5-1 and Irad shows up on it, I can't take the horse because I know I'm going to get 7-2
The
or
horse
3-1.
in the second race yesterday may have been the most dramatic example.
It's
of it.
crazy.
That was something
That
yesterday.
the horse broke its maiden. I mean,
That
visually
was something
impressively, but a
yesterday.
75 buyer was 1-5.
I couldn't believe it. I looked down at the TV, over at the TV, watching America's Day at the Races, and that horse was 1-5. I was stunned.
So I just want
And was fortunate to win. I mean, a completely different
it's
story.
hard to read the course. I took the other Wesley Ward first. I
Okay.
got a stat for Wesley Ward with his 2-year-old first-time stars. This is at Aqueduct in Belmont from 4.5 to 5.5. So I thought the sample would focus on our early season 2-year-old races in general with Wesley. He's got very good numbers with the firsters, and it's not like he's never won with the other one in these situations. So I'm going to take a small shot with this one. It is turf, the pedigree, but I thought I'd take a small shot. I could have set this horse to Keeneland running the turf yesterday, right?
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. There's another turf race there today for the 2-year-olds. This horse never saw Keeneland. This horse has been down in South Florida getting ready. You know, the 2-year-olds from Wesley early on have not been as potent down at Keeneland.
He has not dominated the way he has in the past. I don't, it may be a bit of an aberration, but
I wonder if it is in part because the maiden race here is worth $90,000.
What is it at Keeneland?
56.
Oh,
It's a lot of money.
you make a great point.
So, especially.
But he ran the 5 at Keeneland.
He did. In Poppy Flowers' instance, that could very well be the case. Maybe knowing that you needed a little bit more time or wanted to go chase a little bit more money. You also get a little bit more distance. I know it's only half a furlong, but you
You're
always
on your
get
game
a little
today.
bit more
It's
distance.
early,
Well,
but you're
you try to pick these things up. There's a lot of money on the line here, Andy. I mean,
being outside.
There's a lot of money.
No, you're 100% right.
You know, so-
no, that's that. All kidding aside, I think you are making.
I
an
think
excellent
things
point.
have to be, these trainers, at least the successful ones, because I put up I was surprised that Wesley Wood never run a horse in the Derby, and everybody on Twitter became the most the funniest person on the planet with all he only went. The Derby's not 5.5 furlongs. I was just
To
surprised.
suggest that I would have bet money.
With the people he's
it's funny,
trained
It came
for-
up on the show with Greg and I the other day, and we sort of wondering if he'd ever run a horse.
Amazing.
And I just said to Greg sort of camera, I said, oh, he has to have.
He had to
run a horse here and there. I agree. At first I thought We Miss Artie, but We Miss Artie wasn't him. It was Todd, actually.
Yep.
And I thought that was maybe him. But yeah, I mean,
Ramsey's Roger
inevitably,
King. He trained for
you
people that have
get
a lot of money and have a lot of
I
horses.
agree. People don't. I completely agree with you. But of course, everybody knows everything on
Right.
Twitter. The problem with your horse, Speak Unity, is this is all a big turf pedigree.
Well, the two
I picked
firsters
those-
really
I picked
are,
those
right?
third
Yeah,
two.
the
Yeah.
2 firsters really are.
But it's Union Rag, so.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I just I wanted to split the Wesley Ward
That's fine.
horses. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point about the 90,000. You're paying more than a year's bills if you win the race.
Yep.
I mean, it's a big opportunity for sure. Race number 2 on the Teuf for race number 2. We'll take a look at Clever Fellow, who is Irad and Chad Brown. This is a horse that's trying the turf for the first time. The dam was 0 for 1 on the turf. I'm sorry, 0 for 2 on the turf. She did run 5th once with a 72 buyer. She's produced 1 horse to try the turf, did no running on it. He is a 5-year-old maiden who runs by appointment only. He's
3 times.
had a year off between every one of his starts, so at least he's putting races together. I don't think he ran that well in here. He ran okay at 4 to 5. Now Chad's put him on the turf. He may win, but this horse is going to be dramatically overbet. And I just believe you're obligated to pick against this horse.
I don't
because
disagree.
Why do you need this horse at 3 or 4 to 5? Trying a serve has never been on. And at this point, Chad Brown's basically saying, okay, I'll try the turf, see if it runs. I don't think Chad Brown bought this horse and said, boy, I can't wait to get this. This is going to be a lawnmower.
Horse that took no money
Left
first.
in New York every winter.
Horse that took no money first time out. Got beat a pole. Year off.
Sounds like a win or lose. This horse is I mean, obviously it's in your pick 5 plays.
Sure.
But this horse feels like a horrible gamble.
I don't disagree. And if you, like you said, you're playing a pick 4, you're playing an early pick 4, early pick 5, you're obviously using this horse. But
Well, you aren't if you're one of those authorities on Twitter that tells everybody how to bet when they put their bets up, but doesn't actually put up bets. But
Right.
that's my
you
favorite.
make a great point. I went to the Speed. I went inside to BC Glory Days, and I know a couple of starts back, this horse coughed up a pretty easy lead, and should have got the job done as a 3-5 favorite. I don't really like horses like this. I'm hoping that as the lone, I think this horse is the lone speed today.
On paper, she's supposed to be in front of these.
Surface switch. Horse will likely be third choice today as well.
Doesn't have any pedigree though for grass.
I know.
And he's going to get bet off of dirt form. That's my problem with him. I'm saying he can't win. I've got him third, but he's going to be bet off of dirt form.
Fair enough.
Now listen, I picked a horse that's 2-1 morning line. There's absolutely zero chance that my horse will be favored over Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz. I can't imagine.
You know, the doubles right. The doubles. I know it's early, but the doubles right now have Saratoga Flash favored.
I'll take Irad and Chad as the favorite in every situation they can possibly. Maybe they will be. You know, Saratoga Flash should be favored. Source ran against better horses last time out. I just thought his horse was super logical in that race. Been betting both of his starts, gets him back in with New York breds. For all I know, Barkley was using the last race for a prep. This purse is 75,000. That purse was 40.
There it go. Right, and it's we're not talking about. We're not being homers, and we're not talking about short money.
$20,000 difference
twice,
for break.
This is twice the money.
And don't tell me Saratoga Stable doesn't want that extra 20. And I'm not saying they didn't try in Florida, but my guess is the Barkley ball will get a race into
That's
him.
not being implied here at all, but the horse hadn't run in 5.5 months.
Horse has got some workouts, huh? Which may have influenced the odds.
Yeah, he's got a couple of firsts in that race tomorrow as well that were tearing up the turf course at Palm Meadows as well. Really fast times. Listen,
that turf course at Palm Meadows must be like
harder
than your head.
We're not there. I don't know. Right, exactly right. So here's my other issue. Barkley, and I'm the biggest Barkley tag fan there is. The barn is not going well to start the year, and I don't want to take short prices on these horses.
He's 1 for 22. Does he ever win a lot in Florida?
He's had decent enough meets.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not picking on him. Listen,
he's
going to get up to 15, 18% by the end of the year.
He can take it.
Yeah.
He can dish it out and he can take it.
Right. So, I mean, this another horse on all your tickets.
I was going to argue he's 1 for 22. I mean, the numbers are what they are. I don't know. I wonder a little bit, especially if you're Barkley and a lot of your horses are New York breds. Do you want to win a race in Florida?
I worry about what you said, too. Like, you see these fast works. We don't know what that course is like. And like I said, there's two firsters. I think one firster worked 57, one firster worked 58.
No, I agree. We know the workouts be nothing.
We don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Talk about other horses in your Noble Conquest. I didn't see anything from this horse in that race in April. I guess was sort of running at the end. Does come back in 8 days. I don't want to ever be just completely dismissive. I put the horse fourth. I watched Big Little Risks race. I didn't, broke a little bit slowly in the race, was sort of steadied off about a length or so down the backstretch, so did have some trouble. This is Big Little Risk, the 4. I guess you could make a case this horse could improve, but I thought the horse would have to improve a lot to be effective in here.
I used a little agent Creed. John Kimmel ran the New York Bred Open Company at Gulfstream. Didn't take any money, but...
No turf pedigree. Did you watch this horse's race?
Yeah, it was awful. Blinkers, Gelding, Kendrick... I don't know.
No turf pedigree. He ran like garbage, and he was 40-1 first.
And he's running the horse back on the turf.
Oh. Maybe man, this one really must not be able to run on the dirt.
Perhaps that is the case.
Race number 3. This is an Irad Ortiz that I'm not going to play against in here. Well, I'm not. We'll take a look at Miss Brazil. And she's losing to search results, who is not the favorite in the Kentucky Oaks. She's certainly going to be one of the top 3 choices in there.
Got to be Hurrah Malafat as chalk, right?
Well, I think Travel Column will take a lot of money. Yeah. I wouldn't get that carried away. She's good, and less distance is better for her. This was a mile. That was a slow pace, but this is a very, very good filly. And I mean, I'm probably looking at races like the Victory Ride, the Test, and the
no question about it,
and the Prioress. And I really respect that Tony Dutrow said right after this race, we're not going for the Kentucky Oaks. We're going for the right races, and he's not shipping her to Kentucky to run the 8 bells. He's taking the right route with her and she just looks like she's better than these horses.
If she didn't get a distance last time on the soft pace, she's probably not going to get the distance.
Well, she got the distance, Anthony. She lost the search results by half length. No.
But you know where her future is. I think off that race, you know where her future is.
Yeah. But she got the distance last time. That's not fair. She lost the search results.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying I should better put. He knows where her future.
He understands that this is a horse that could be a Grade 1 winner, but it's not likely to be
She's a nice filly.
Yeah.
She's a really nice filly, and I'm curious to see what Irad does today. Because Invaluable's fast.
No, he's got to go. He's got
But
the
I
rail.
would assume he has to just go because of the draw.
Has to go.
Yeah, I would assume
She's
that.
fast. She's faster than the 5, I think. Well, let's discuss Invaluable because I've got her second, but geez, her last race was pathetic. And I know she's won on wet tracks before, and I think at some point, and she could bounce back. She gets one chance to bounce back, and I do have her second, but at some point, maybe the clock struck 12 with her because she got very good, and maybe she's reverting. But I don't want to dismiss her. It was such a bad effort that I'll give her one more chance. But I don't trust her.
And I think the race 2 back, she was kind of helped along by the racetrack. I wouldn't even be surprised if she just really doesn't like a wet track.
Yeah, but it's not the only good race. Wow, come on, Anthony. That's bad.
I think she prefers
how about
a dry
How about
track.
Belmont when she won by a sloppy seal track?
Prefers a dry track.
I don't have any evidence of that whatsoever.
Okay. I think she prefers
None whatsoever.
whatever the case is. I think if you're right
She's wrong.
and Miss Brazil goes, and I would lean towards Miss Brazil going to the lead as well.
Well, how's she not going from the rail?
Puts her in a bad spot, Invaluable, doesn't it?
I don't know. I just think she has to bounce back from her last race in a big way. If Miss Brazil runs a race, she's just too good for these horses, period. So regardless, and she's got to bounce back. As far as Slam Dunk, who you have second, and I think I have third in here, take a look at her win at Gulfstream last time. Tri-Pacific Gale, who got into very good form down in Florida, Scora Row was third. She's not been in good form. I mean, I guess she probably sits behind the 1 and 5, and maybe she works out the right trip. But
that's why I put
she's
her
not that
second.
good.
No, she's not that good. And I'll tell you what, I bet her last time. She was awful last time. I know she ran into, like you said, she ran into Pacific Gale. She was kind of good form.
She was awful.
She was awful last time.
No question about
she
it.
didn't run 2 steps. So,
what about Prairie Fire? Can she pick up the pieces?
she wasn't very good last time
She
either.
wasn't, and I'm going to tell you something. That race got a gigantic figure, and it looked like a fast race, and there were gaps. The winner, I think, got a 98 buyer.
That was the horse coming in from Parks.
I kind of want to see it again.
Yeah.
You know, and if she got a 79 out of it, which makes sense for prior races, but I'm wondering if her form hasn't kind of fallen apart a little bit. She'd gotten good. Wondering. Originally, I kind of thought she was the interesting, maybe suck up for second, but I don't trust her recent form.
Neither.
Race number 4. Well, you went off the reservation here, didn't you?
Took a little shot.
A little shot.
I didn't love the.
What do you like about? What do you like about Bulgari?
Ran this horse in what turned out to be a pretty good race. Perfect Mornings, Dancing Buck, they're both okay. At a time when the barn was not winning races.
Horse was beaten 16
Horse
and a half
beating a
lengths in
pole.
the
Well, you
6
come back now. First time Lasix as a 3-year-old can have the Lasix, a fresh gelding. See the horse off the 5.5 months. Barn is starting to heat up now.
They are.
I think I'll tell you what, they're going better than they were going when this horse ran first time.
They are.
I think so.
Okay, who are the horses who are running so well?
They were over. They were over at
No, they were winning later at Aquita. I'm not sure I agree with that. Okay, listen, you've took an out-and-out shot with a horse that did no running first time out. Do you have any story in this?
No.
Horse? No story.
Why do you always assume there's
Because
a story?
this is a very hard horse to pick without a tip.
Why do you think this is a very hard horse to pick? I wasn't overwhelmed by any.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't overwhelmed.
Wait a second. No, I don't want to hear that you weren't overwhelmed by anybody else because that's
overwhelmed
gibberish.
by the
This horse ran a
firsters.
32 buyer first time out.
Okay.
Got beaten a pole at 20-1 first time out. Did absolutely no running. And you think, why do I need something? Yes, something to pick this horse in this race. You either fell and hit your head or you have a story.
On a turf course that you always talk about is how different it is towards the end of the Aqueduct meet than any of the other courses. I mean, I'm not looking at the horses the first time.
One story
I'm
after
not looking
another.
at the first time.
Okay, you're taking a shot. That's fine.
Yeah.
On paper, this is a 50-1 shot with absolutely no chance. I wish you the best of luck. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I just find it hard to believe there's no story because I don't know how you come to a horse like this.
Why do you need a story?
I feel like I'm in the new loony bin here. Okay. I don't know. I don't pick horses that look like this very often without watching. I watched the race. This horse didn't do any running at all at any point in the race. I'm just, if this horse wins, it's, God bless you. I mean, go for it. But there's just nothing in the paper. You say, why do you need a story? And I look at the paper and I go, because there's no reason possibly to like this horse.
Wasn't overwhelmed by the firsters.
Yeah, the firsters, that's not. Well, one of them, Grape Nuts Warriors, the dam won the Miss Grillo. Okay, and $600,000. So, and it's Chad Brown with the first on the turf. So obviously you weren't overwhelmed. That's fine. The other one for Chad Brown, it's not a lot of pedigree, but you know, it is a tourist, and I think Irad's riding that one for Chad. I gotta think that one is possible. So you're not one of the
I'm
first.
not saying they're not possible.
They're probably both 5 to 10 to 1 favorites to finish out your horse, but that's fine. I don't know. Does Chad? If you ask Chad if he likes them, I doubt it, but I certainly didn't.
How would I come up with this one?
As far as the horses that actually have form, let's take a little bit of a look at the 6th race on November 8th, and we'll talk about Neuro, who finished 3rd. He had the trip of trips. It was a fast pace, but he was down on the inside. I wonder about Kendrick. He's on the horse Bernardino on the rail. He does get kind of stopped in here. And it's not impossible he would have won, and he does seem a little uncomfortable in there, and you see him stay a little bit. Having said that, he was on the gold rail every step of the way. And of the horses in the race, who was the other one we're looking at? American Piper. He was also on the rail for much of the race, and he drifted out. So all of these horses had good trips in there. I'm not saying any of them can't win here, but they all had pretty good trips.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not, and it's not really, I mean, it's not really a particularly good race.
Well, I don't know if this is a particularly good race. What about Bar 14 wiring the field? This is a half to a turf winner. Got an 80 buyer. The dam actually handled the turf very well. She didn't win on it, but she ran very well, Bar 14. Are you at all worried about that horse getting clear?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. What about, I mean, I would imagine American.
Isn't this one to go to if you don't like anybody else here?
Isn't American Piper supposed to show some speed? I don't know if he's fast enough, but isn't
couldn't run with this horse without an engine up his butt. What are you talking about? I mean, this horse is running. This horse is his sprint speed.
I understand that, but he also.
You think Kendrick's going to be rating this horse, and Eric's going to be setting American Piper?
No, I don't. But I think he's got to take to the turf as well. I mean, I can't imagine.
No, I agree, but I'm not. I think the 8's got a pedigree to handle it.
Yeah.
As far as I don't know, a Cala Dream, yeah. Louis Cardenas riding this horse. I want to take a look at the last race this horse ran at Saratoga. Where are we picking him up? This horse, who drops completely back and out of the race, watch his rally, because he's actually going to get stymied in his rally, because right here he kind of wants to go between horses. But he gets sort of half-blind switched there and half sort of shut off. And I really feel as though he was moving then, and he just got held up at that point. And now he finally gets his way through, and he's running at the end. And he ran well. I know it was a slow race, but it's a 2-year-old turf route race in the middle of July. These races never get good figs. So the fact he got a 56, I couldn't care less. That could easily be a 75. And you look at the horses out of the race. The winner improved as a 3-year-old for Kelly Breen. Nautilus, who ran second, won, but won off the turf. Rock Sugar improved 13 buyer points the next start in the turf. That's a pretty live-looking race when I look at it. And this horse had some trouble in the race and ran all right for Tom Morley. And see, to me, and I don't totally disagree with your notion that I don't love a lot of horses here. I know nothing about the firsters, but they're both Chad Browns. They could run 1-2. And they both, one of them has a giant pedigree and a horse that actually Chad trained. But I don't love those horses, the Bernardino Fields. I don't disagree with you. But this horse, I think there's something to like about this horse, especially if you watch the race.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a spread race for me, and I'm gonna use some 9s. 3, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9.
It just seems like Bulgaria is the kind of horse that I would put second or third, because there's nothing to like about him. You're taking an out-and-out stab, that's fine, but there's zero to like about this horse. I just don't. I wish you the best of luck. I'll root for you like that 30-1 shot. But like the 30-1 shot, and that was a great pick yesterday. That horse had a pedigree. That wasn't a stab.
No, that
wasn't a stab. That horse had a pedigree.
It's a little bit of a different selection.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, race number 5. I wish you the best of luck. Race number 5. So you and I in race number 5, we just guessed with Ned Allard.
That was it. I had a tough time with this race because I really wanted to pick against Overdressed. Although,
Irad.
I mean, and
we'll show Overdressed. Beating investment grade. This is 2 back.
Overdressed is 8-5 on the morning line.
He'll be even money.
There's no chance this horse is a dime higher than even money today.
Well, he could be. I don't know about that.
How do you? It's hard for me to take these straight 3-year-old bottom claimers at that kind of price. I mean,
it's hard to be too excited about anybody else.
It's hard to be too excited about anybody else, but at the very least, you feel like triple digit. Maybe there's a little upside there. I don't know. I could not take Overdressed at even money or prohibitive. I couldn't do it.
I don't disagree. Even at 8-5, I don't want him, and he may win. But he is who he is. But she's
supposed to win.
She's the most logical horse in the year. I have nothing against her in that respect. I'm going to have Bustin' My Groove in coming back for Oscar Barrera. I still haven't quite forgotten about what took place a week ago at Aqueduct. And this horse was in approximately the 40 path when it ran here.
This horse
I think this horse was at Home Depot, actually, when they went around the turn. So I'm going to have him. But like you, I'm going to guess with Ned Allard. This horse is a couple of races that are not terrible, and they're going shorter. The mile and a 16th races were much slower. The 7 furlong races were faster. I'm hoping this horse is a new face coming in for a trainer that does have success when he comes to New York. Got a 100 buyer yesterday for the 9-year-old Sunshine horse.
And he was a winner at the 5/8 pole. Gate opened and the race was over.
He was good. I don't know if he was a winner of the 5/8 pole, but he looked good. He was very good. Should we take a break?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back for the 6th race, the late pick 4. Coming up.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. By the way, presented by Saratoga Water. I knew it, and we started the show, and I totally forgot. I'm the worst.
It's right there.
We're very happy to have our friends at Saratoga Water back sponsoring Talking Horses. We thank them. I love Saratoga Water. It has nothing to do with them being a sponsor.
Neither.
I've been drinking Saratoga Water, the sparkling, for many years.
I'm
the
a
blue
still
bottles.
guy. Yeah, I'm a still guy.
Yeah, I know. You're bland, and I'm interesting.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm bland and
You
you're
are.
interesting.
You are. You think you are. You think you're more interesting
Wow.
than you are. Capital Structure in race number 6, the 1.25 miles of the turf. And I know the turf was listed as firm yesterday. It was yielding. It wasn't firm. We'll take a look at Capital Structure winning here at Belmont, 1 mile and a 16, 2 back. And I thought she ran fine 1.25 miles last time out at Santa Anita. The race was wired by Duopoly, her stablemate, and she was buried on the inside. There's an argument she could have been second in that race. She wasn't being Duopoly. She really came to hand here and really improved. She'll have to be effective 1.25 miles and is a loop to Vega. But if Chad Brown thinks she can be effective, she was entered 1 mile 16th, as were many of these back at Aqueduct. The race was rained off. We lost the Grand Motion horse, the Cliffs horse.
She's running tomorrow, I believe, in the Dahlia at Pimlico.
Okay. And Virginia Joy comes in here. We'll talk about in just a moment. We both took Capital Structure. It's Jose, and maybe I'll take a lot of my Virginia Joy, but maybe Virginia Joy is good.
The fact that Chad Brown is now running her for the 2nd consecutive time in 1.25 miles, like you said, off of a
Well, he entered 1 mile 16. He
did.
needs to get a race into
But
her.
he's still right.
Well, no, what he needs to do is get a race into her. That's why she's running. So don't think he's looking for 1.25 miles.
No.
He's looking for 1 mile 16.
Right, I understand that. But what I'm saying is he's still willing to run her in 1.25 miles.
He is, because the race came up and she needs to get a race. Because I imagine they'd probably like to get her into the
old harness,
New York, which
the old
is,
harness
on Belmonte.
The old harness line, no chance trip. Really, what she had last time, right? Duopoly just went around there, set a very slow pace for Southern California. The race was over. She got beat a length for second. Didn't have to clean the strip. Probably should have been second, like you said. She just makes a lot of sense. That race here in the fall last year, under similar conditions to what we're facing today, really. The course is probably in the same kind of condition as well. She just ran really, really well that day.
The course is the same. No, that course in October was considerably firmer than what we're dealing with here. We saw mile 16th and 146.
But weather-wise, I mean, I think they kind of react the same way, no?
I don't know about that. It's the spring, and that was the fall. From a course condition standpoint, when we saw yesterday, I know we're listing this firm. I don't believe it's possible these courses are firm. I think they're pristine. But those were very slow times we saw yesterday. I mean, the best we could hope for today is good. We've had some wind. The sun is out, and it's warming up a little bit. But I don't believe we're dealing with firm turf courses here. And that was a firm course. They went 142 and 2. I'm not saying it was rock hard, but it was pretty firm.
Okay.
I'm just hoping she's really improved. But Virginia Joy, I mean, this horse, I don't love the horses from Germany. And this is, I believe, a purchase by Peter Brandt, because I don't think this horse was for Peter running over in Germany. I don't recall him running much in Germany, but I respect the purchase he made. This horse was nominated, the number 2, Virginia Joy, to the Sheepshead Bay, where they've also got My Sister Nat, the same connections. But she was going to run there, and she's running here instead. So I don't think she was running there if they didn't think she could run a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Working down at Payson all winter long. She's one, too, where, unlike Capital Structure, who just has the one race at the added distance, this filly's, that's been the bulk of her career over in Germany. All 4 starts as a 3-year-old last year, all came in a mile and a quarter or longer. So maybe, like Andy said, needing to get the race into Capital Structure, it certainly looks like this filly, the distance, certainly, at the very least, is not a question.
We know the distance. If anything, she wants more distance.
Yeah.
Kissing Frogs, though, isn't bad. I mean, she's got to get a mile and a quarter, Kissing Frogs. But her last race was okay. It's interesting because it's very hard to make the winner Toffin 89 buyer because she had previously run 78 and 76 for Brian Lynch. It's a big jump up. But Wheatez, who ran third, is actually okay in there. I want to say that's...
She came back.
Is that Ian Wilkes?
She came back yesterday or Wednesday and ran 4th, going a mile and 3/16 at Keeneland from an outside draw. I don't remember.
The thing about Kissing Frogs is she should be somewhat forward in here. I guess Kilkay is likely speed in this race, flashing red as well. But she should be more forward than Capital Structure and Virginia Joy. But I'll tell you on Capital Structure, she's not that slow.
No.
And I think you're going to see her sitting, 4th in this race in good position. I'd worry a little more that Virginia Joy is a little more slow than that one. But I don't think Capital Structure is supposed to be badly outrun in this race.
I don't either. Kissing Frogs will probably have position. Trevor McCarthy on Kissing Frogs, by the way. Yeah, I split the 2 Chads with Kissing Frogs.
Well,
for the simple fact that she's going to be, she figures to be the first one to come calling on the speed. I would not be surprised if she took them into the lane, and we'll see if the Chads can run it down.
We will see. I don't disagree with that. I just wonder about a mile and a quarter for her.
Just some recency too, obviously.
Yes, she does. Well, she's certainly not impossible in a race.
I thought about putting her on top, but I like Capital Structure.
Bill Mott. Race number 7. Is Belmont here?
This was wow. I want to
a
get my bingo drum out for this one. This was my Tom Morley selection today.
Yeah, why don't we start with horse that can win, and we'll start with that quality.
Sure.
Who finished? We'll show her finishing 2nd in her last turf start, and this was almost exactly a year ago at Tampa Bay. Finished 2nd in North Dakota, who came back and turned out to be a stakes horse for Shug McGay. He won our Red Smith, right? It's amazing how a year goes, right?
Yep.
That horse became a stakes horse, and this horse is now running for a tag, and we'll show you the stats for what it's worth for Jonathan Thomas, who has decent enough stats. First time on a tag on the turf, and his overall first time for tag numbers are good. It's just hard to trust this horse.
Problem here is this horse debuted on August 17th of 2019. 4 months, 3 months, 4 months, 3 months, 4 months.
In for a tag,
starts.
bit of a runoff, this horse, too.
Yep. In for a tag for the first time.
But she's dangerous.
He is. He's absolutely
He is,
dangerous. I mean, like you said, behind North Dakota, when North Dakota started getting good down at Tampa last spring.
Well, North Dakota got good with more distance.
Yeah.
He wasn't good enough. He
won a mile and 16th down there.
Right, but he beat him.
But he got better when he got more
distance.
grounds. Yes, he did. And then this horse is... See, my big problem with this horse is the race at Turfway, which not only is 4 months ago, but the Jonathan Thomas horses at Turfway Park, I mean, he won at like 40%. And this horse went to the lead and just didn't take a dime.
But he couldn't handle synthetic either.
I guess.
Turf horse.
Yeah.
2 of his 3 turf races are pretty good. I mean, he's looking to lose the horse. This horse is pretty much a cinch to get claimed as long as he's not wearing a sling when he comes to the paddock.
I would imagine he's getting, but some of the horses that get claimed around here, I would imagine this horse, that imagine
Lining
there'll be a
up to
multiple
claim
way
this
shake
horse.
for this
so
horse.
that's he's a 5-year-old now, but still, Ultimate Irony seems reasonably fine to me. We'll take a look at his last race on the turf. I don't care what he did last time in the dirt. I mean, he's got the more recency, and he seems like a perfectly logical horse in this race, right? Sort of a runoff leader, and made a nice run at him.
Perfectly logical kind of horse in a race like this where, I shouldn't say a kind of horse. In a race like this, you don't want to take the horse that's going to be the favorite, I don't think, because they're just not reliable.
Who's Irad riding?
Yeah.
Oh, my horse. I picked Irad, idiot that I am.
Benji Hernandez on the 9. Oh, you didn't know, by the way.
Oh, that's your horse.
That's my pick.
I didn't know. I am a little concerned that those races at Fairgrounds are not as good as some of the figures suggest. They worry me a little bit, but I think this horse is perfectly logical and maybe a little more reliable. Unfortunately, the horse I picked has Irad, Vow of Beauty. Vow of Beauty is kind of weird. I thought the horse had a little bit of a trip in one of its first 2 turf races. And the reality, no, I'm sorry, not in the first one, but the second one had a very good trip, but got a 71 buyer that day and lost to horses like Advanced Strategy. And I'm not sure this horse doesn't just fit reasonably well in here. And I think Charlie's running where the horse belongs. And that turf race November 8th, that's when the rail was good. And this horse was out in the middle of the racetrack for a lot of the race. That horse was given absolutely no chance. I wish Irad wasn't riding. And
getting back to the Golden Door maiden race that we saw earlier today on the program.
Yeah, but this horse, but all those horses run the rail.
Yeah, he was
this
in
horse was street wide around the racetrack in that race, so has a very, very legitimate excuse in there to have run badly, and I think is better than he looks. And I'm hoping, he got lost a little, but with Irad, I'm going to get no value. Right. And then we'll get to your pick.
Listen, I wanted to take a little bit of a shot here. Sources a half. The 3 horses who've tried the turf, they've all won.
2 of them won. 3 of them didn't win. 2 of the 3 won.
You sure about that?
Mm-hmm. I'll look it up again, but I have 2 of 3.
I thought it was 3 for 3. You could be right. Yeah,
they were cheap.
Getting to the turf.
They weren't much running as a Bernardini, unfortunately.
Just getting to the turf. I was wanting a little bit of a different look. It was going to be 20 to 1.
Who's riding? Cardenas?
No, Benji Hernandez.
So. One thing I'll say is,
it's an absolute spread race.
Bernardini's not a turf sire. None of the sires of the holes that ran the turf were particularly good turf horses, so turf sires. So it's not really, there's not a lot there. I get it. There were 2 of the 3. They handled the turf. They were cheaper horses, but it's not going to take a Herculean effort. I mean, this horse has no ability in the dirt, so good luck. Horse will be a big price. Yeah. How about the 4, Croix-Mort? Yeah. Why can't this horse win?
I'm using this horse, shipping it for Rob Falcone.
You don't have Rob Falcone in the top 4. Does he know?
Got the maiden. This horse broke his maiden for $20,000 at Golden Gate.
Okay.
Had a ship up from Santa Anita from the winter base for Rob. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Horses races fit here?
Yeah, they do. They do. We talk about this all the time, though, how hard it is to win for these horses to break the maiden and then win the condition race right back. I mean,
well, no. What I'm more talking about is horses that are offers. When they win, they sometimes find they like to win.
Golden
and this horse
Gate
running...
for 20, Andy.
Okay.
Golden Gate for 20.
Okay.
Couldn't win. Yeah, a horse can absolutely
Bernardini, for what it's worth, by the way, is 3% first-time turfers. Okay. Race number 8. Race number 8. Well, one thing we knew for sure. We knew who Anthony was picking here. Let's take a look at the performances of Big Engine and Running with Scissors last time out. And while Big Engine got the best of Running with Scissors, I'm not sure Running with Scissors didn't run the better race. This horse was stalking outside the speed in here, and the race kind of fell apart. And I actually think Big Engine ran okay in here to be third, beaten just a few lengths. Running with Scissors, excuse me. Big Engine ran well also. Big Engine got the right trip. Running with Scissors, and I thought Running with Scissors in this race would be stalking Winner's Laugh. And if Horatio De Paz can get Winner's Laugh off a maiden win to beat this field of experienced horses,
that'd be something.
This is very impressive. But I think that this is the right horse, and I think the 6 is the one who's going to provide some value in this race over a horse like the 5. So he's the one that interests me. I almost picked him on top, but I did not. You're committed in here.
I went to my boy. What do
you
think?
You don't have
now?
Running with Scissors top 4. You were like his biggest fan.
I know. I didn't know what to do with him.
Can I bet he beats the 3? Since you got the 3 4th?
No. Yeah, I'll take 1.
Okay.
We'll do 1.
Plus 5 is 71. It's a new all-time high. 6th over 3 for 1.
Shouldn't have taken that. You shouldn't even have taken that victory yesterday. Those horses were both so bad, it shouldn't even have taken that.
But my point of my bet was that my horse didn't even have to show up, and it was still going to beat your horse.
You're right.
So actually, I'm happy to accept it.
So what do you think now, 3 for 6? Horse got beaten in the debut. Jerry the Nipper, who, like you like to say, is in the witness protection program. And then 2 starts back.
Who are we talking about?
What do you think now?
Well, we're not on him yet.
Oh, okay.
He's the 3rd replay. So let's talk about Captain Bombastic.
Okay.
Next. Sorry about that. I should have warned you that. We'll take a look at Captain Bombastic winning the Mike Lee here last year. Did I put the stat up? Yeah, I got a stat for Chad Brown, which is just surprised me. His numbers off trainer changes with dirt sprints are off the charts good. He's 3 for 11 with routers, but you'll see the stat what he is with sprinters. It's remarkable. I've always liked this horse, and I think this horse is a contender for whoever he's with. Now, I know he's coming off the layup. He doesn't have recency. I think he's going to be very tough today, and I'll show you the stat for Chad Brown. These numbers are crazy, huh?
Wow.
Right?
Well, it's also something you don't...
I thought he was a turf trainer. I thought he didn't know how to train in the dirt.
That's what I was going to say. It's something you don't feel like he does a lot, especially with sprinters, right? But guy does everything.
I was surprised by that stat. Especially considering he's much better with the sprinters than he has been with the routers. It's a bit random.
And he's a turf
small
trainer.
sample, but
And he's a turf trainer.
I know he can't train in the dirt. He doesn't know how to get a dirt horse home, and he managed to win 9 of 19. It's amazing. On the Preakness, he can't train in the dirt.
Might be Oaks Derby double, but he's a turf trainer.
Yeah, good luck. Anyway, now we'll get to Anthony's favorite horse. There's nothing you like better, and we'll go right to the replay of what do you think now, than a horse off a win with a Gold Rail trip. I mean, that's like the stamp of Anthony Stabile. My man Mike Beer likes some Gold Rail horses. You love them, though.
This horse is.
By the way,
best.
that was definitely not accurate.
I thought this horse's best race was 3 starts back, going 7/8. I think this horse is going to be okay cutting back to the sprint.
Being Prince of Arrows.
2 starts back.
This one, you're not worried about the distance.
He chased the Yankee.
This one, the distance is
he's
fine.
1 going 6.
Okay, I'm just trying to look because you do kind of fit that to your
I don't have a problem
opinion.
with distance when they win at 3 different distances.
I have
in
a problem with
their
his ability, but I don't
Okay.
care with the distance.
Well,
but you're a distance guy. I'm
career.
not.
He's run 2 faster races than.
He's on a Gold Rail last time.
Right. I'm not worried about last time.
You're not
2
worried.
starts
don't,
back.
Don't worry about it.
2 starts back. He chased against the Gold Rail.
He
with
was.
A
He was
stablemate.
against the track. No
Jig
question.
jogged.
He was against the track too back. No
I
question
like this
about it.
horse's sprints. I think this horse is okay. He's going to get. I think he's going to get a good setup in here.
You love this horse, so I'm rooting for you because you've got mad love for this
I
horse.
like this horse.
I've never seen anything in line with what you see about this horse, but that doesn't make me right and you wrong. We just disagree about this horse, but I know you love him, so for you, I hope he runs well. I don't get it, but this is where he's got to run him. Well, I don't know. Did you consult Rudy? Because you were pointing the commentator.
I didn't talk to.
Well, the commentator's probably far enough in the future. You can go to this one and the commentator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 backed out to the mile.
Now, if he doesn't run well here, are you going to blame the 6?
He will.
If he doesn't run well here, are you going to blame the 6?
I'm not worried. He's going to.
Okay, I'm going to take. I'll tell you what. Since you were very generous, with the 6 versus. Well, actually, your horse. No, you know what? No, I'm not. I'll take 2-1. Running with Scissors finishes ahead of. What do you think now? They're
Sure.
3-1 and 8-1. Okay.
Yeah.
2-1.
2-4?
2-1. No, 2-1.
2-1. Okay.
You're not getting those 5 back yesterday so easily. 6/2. What?
Nothing.
You said to me yesterday we could bet whatever we want. I could have
could.
bet double or nothing, be 132. Now that would be great. I just have
Chad. That Chad filly was so. I got to talk to him about that.
What? Oh, he told you she was good?
No. I got to talk to him about
Because I guarantee if you asked him about her, he'd have said you were out of here. You know what? He would have wished I bet 66 lunches so he could have 61 of them.
Everything worked out exactly how I thought too. And
You were right about the 5. I will give you that. You were dead
She
right
didn't
about the
run
5.
2 steps.
She didn't run at all yesterday, and she still buried your horse.
Yeah.
Race number 9. I didn't want to do it.
I didn't either.
I tried so hard to pick against this horse. I did, and everybody likes this horse. This is going to be. By the way, David's got a 7-5, 7-2. This is one that I guarantee you, David's going to text me to say, "Yeah, I got this one wrong." This was going to be 7-5.
But here's why he shouldn't have gotten it. See, here's why I don't think he's going to get it wrong.
Oh. You think that this horse is going to be 7-2?
No,
if this horse is 7-2,
no.
I book this horse.
No. But
Public information?
you probably think he's going to be 8-5,
He's going to be shorter.
right?
There's not a
You
person
think
on
he's
earth
gonna
that didn't
be
pick this
shorter?
horse. Well, why do you like this
I felt
horse?
like a bum picking
Why
this
did you like
horse,
this
too.
horse?
I really did. I felt like a bum picking
Anthony,
this
you're
horse.
never a bum.
I'm going to default to Chad in these.
Oh, I'm not defaulting.
in these races.
This horse actually had a trip
Well,
last
last
time.
time, yeah.
This horse, This horse, you're defaulting, and I'm going to talk about the trip. This horse was 2 to 3 wide in the first turn, 2, 3, 4 wide in the second turn, in a race where it just really had no chance whatsoever. Didn't break particularly sharply, steadied a little bit. This horse had trouble, and I don't know who I'm supposed to like in this race. I mean,
Well,
you've
that's
got Stand
at
with
the
Mo.
end of the day. That's it.
Had a
right?
million chances at short prices. I guess Giroux is okay, but Giroux drew terribly towards the outside. How is Giroux going to be favored over this horse with the 10 post? This horse is a 2 post.
The only thing I can argue on David's behalf, and I don't think he cares that we think he's wrong, but he's the dropper, right? He's a faster dropper than Stand with Mo. They'll both take money because they're dropping and they come from high-profile
Irad and
bonds.
Chad. Yeah, they're
I
they're
don't-
betting out
Andy,
on Grand
Andy,
Motion's horses
I don't
like they're betting
disagree
Chad with
you. I
Irad.
don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is,
This horse will not be 2 to 1.
I can understand why. Oh, he's 3-1. You don't. Oh, you don't think? No, he probably won't be.
Public information will not be 2 to
Yeah.
1.
I don't think Giroux's going to be too far from his morning line. I think he'll be about 5
that
to 3
post,
to 1.
I can't pick a
Post
short
hurts.
price in that post.
Post hurts.
Not on the inner turf.
Post hurts. Post hurts.
let's talk about
But let's-
Holy
let's-
Emperor, who you have fourth and I left off.
I mean,
He's an offer, but can he? Isn't it possible he's just better than these
that
horses?
was my point. My point is, he's run faster races than all these horses
I know.
on multiple occasions. So, but again, for me, it's 0 for 11. You know, he took the horse out to Southern California. Those turf races out there, those maiden turf claiming races out there. I mean, this is like the Breeders' Cup Mile compared to some of those races
I
out
don't
there.
know.
That's the
But
problem.
this horse ran here and didn't run badly. This horse ran figures here that would make him tough, though.
He did.
In races with more distance, you may want more distance. He's the kind of horse that's going to have figures and he's going to get bet, but he just doesn't seem to win. He's also
Just
0 for
doesn't
11 with 4
win.
seconds. The horse that scares me in here is the number 4 Big Easy Empire. I'm looking at that race. This horse was bumped a little bit. Nothing really major. Was forced out a little bit. I had trouble making it. I think this race down at Fairgrounds may be a little bit better than that 57 buyer suggests. I almost picked him on top. I just couldn't really make him. I didn't want to pick the Chad and Irad horse. I think this horse is going to be very short in here. But I couldn't come up with a better alternative. I'm going to try the 2 and 4 in this race, and they're my main two.
Okay.
I just the one stand with Mo, 2 to 1, even money, 3 to 1, keeps losing. I know
know.
they're better horses, but this horse couldn't even hit the board last time. This horse was awful last time. Sifting Stands didn't get a very good trip the other day at Aqueduct, but
He didn't run, this horse didn't run 2 steps last time.
I think we got to go.
Okay.
I'm going to warm up before I head down for the show.
Down.
I have to go up to my office,
Oh.
have another tea, visit with Ryan Martin Naira for a minute,
I mean,
listen to a little Grateful Dead, get ready for a couple hours with Acacia and Greg. You know? What are you doing?
radio. Weekend Stakes preview presented by Naira Bets
know,
tonight. We got 11 stakes.
Video killed the radio star.
If you tuned in last week on a $30 pick 4 ticket, you got back $5.59. Silver State all.
Where's that
Latruska
cash
all.
now? You need to head over to Naira Bet so you can play Anthony's stakes preview. Stakes preview today?
Yeah, tonight.
Excellent. Free
11
$25
races.
Derby bet? Cool. Santa Margarita. That came up tough.
Strong race. Big effort.
I like the speed. $200 sign up on it. We'll match $200. We'll give you a $25 Derby bet as well. So you got about a week left for that. Derby 25. My first Derby. You excited for me, my first Derby?
I am.
I'm
Wait
excited.
a minute. This is your first Derby?
Yeah. I've been at Churchill Downs since 2011.
Wow.
This contest costs $300 to enter. It's a secret, so don't tell anybody, but it's $300 to enter the Belmont Saturday contest. Could we please get a new slate that tells people what it costs? Thank you for that. It is what I think is an important factor, of course, what I think is kind of irrelevant. And finally, the show, 1 to 5:30 today, which I know Anthony will have on while he's on the radio.
No, because I'm in the basement. I only have my laptop.
You know when they say
I don't
people,
lie.
when they say somebody lives in their mom's basement?
I don't want. No, I don't. The basement's gone. Basement's gone. I do my radio. I go down to the lab to mix my Mad Beats and to pick winners. That's what we do. Mad Beats and pick winners. That's what we
Johnny
do.
I
That's
up
what we
next
do
with
in
a
Howard Beach.
reprise of the scratch and changes. Have a great day.